Dance groups are situated all over the borough and provide enjoyment and access to physical activity. They often perform within the festival and events programme, which is gaining even more momentum with the new cultural manifesto entitled The Fire Within.
This year we received funding through the Cultural Education Fund, which has allowed us to grow the already established dance festival that we were running to include schools. So every school in the borough will receive the opportunity to take part in a professional scale performance this year at Robin Park and at Lee Sports Village. We've also created a new dance resource called the Daily Wiggle, which is a video programme that schools can literally press play, and it will be the same, it's the same amount of steps as taking part in the Daily Mile, so it's perfect for thrive breaks, and if it's a rainy day, it's a really good alternative to make sure that the children are still getting that 15 minutes of exercise and the equivalent steps as the Daily Mile. We have also established a really successful gifted and talented dance programme. Last week we had 64 young people in the studio working with professional artists from across the Northwest to experience what it's like to be in a professional dance company.
We go performing at places, and we did 3 weeks of shows in a row. We did some at the Adelphi Theatre and then the Lowry Theatre, and then we did a show at Wigan Youth Zone.
You can't even put into words the effect that it can have on people's lives. It can go from as little as making you feel better if you've had a bit of a rubbish day, you know, if you come into a studio and you can just let your troubles go because you're moving to music, all the way to helping people to stay fit and healthy and active, and to helping people deal with really serious mental health issues. It's just a wonderful, wonderful art form, and it's the most instinctive, natural art form that really we can take part in. Everyone, on some level, knows how to dance and can dance and should dance numerous times in the day.
I would love to do it in the future. I would like to go to a college and hopefully become a well-known dancer when I'm older.
We have to polish, we have to encourage that ambition and that appetite in our young people to take on more, to exceed, to excel in whatever careers they choose.
I had a death around me at a very young age, and I was so young that I didn't know I was experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. It happened when I was 9, and I realised I had post-traumatic stress disorder by the time I was 28. Looking back in retrospect and having therapy at that time, I'd realised that I'd actually lived through a 20-year eating disorder and body dysmorphia disorder. I also had extreme anxiety. I tried many forms of therapy, which none of them kind of worked for me, so I actually decided to pioneer my own arts therapy, which is what I'm doing here at the Old Court. So by being creative and making positive from something that was negative, I found that I'm completely rid of those traumas.
Our programme really evolves through partnership and an exchange of ideas and reciprocity and friendship. And we partner with organisations both locally and from across the country. And a great example of that is a project that's still evolving here, which is with Fallen Angels Dance Theatre, who work with people in recovery from addiction and adversity, and they dance here every Friday. And we've connected them up with Frances Disley, who's a Liverpool-based visual artist who works very closely with performance. And they've evolved together this incredible piece, which has really branched out everybody's ideas and created something that will be shown and exhibited across the country. In terms of their health and well-being, they've gained so much from it because it's about play and it's about experimentation, and through that they've really found something really positive in finding their own voice and becoming artists themselves and recognised as artists.
I think Wigan put on an awful lot of events throughout the year. Some of them organised by the council, some of it organised by local residents' associations or groups. And I think it's just an opportunity to bring communities together.
Celebrating what we've got here, making it known, because it's not always known that there's good pockets of things going on, so it's bringing all the things out into the open of what's going on and encouraging people to get involved for themselves and just, yeah, uplifting people about where they live.
Carnival is so important because it's a sense of bringing communities together and making a community spirit, bringing different cultures together.
Pride is important for a number of reasons. I think the most important one currently for the current generation is kind of like current affairs that are going on, so like homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, having the visibility that they can in their communities and allowing the place where they live to feel open, to feel free.
Well, I first got involved around 5 years ago. I've been doing teacher training where we educate teachers and other professionals about the LGBT plus community and help them support like young people. We also plan Pride, so I get involved with that every year. And this year I'm comparing on stage.
Here at Wigan Pride we get amazing support from all our local NHS organisations such as CCG, WWL and so many more. And with these organisations supporting us and being with us here on the day, it's supporting all those LGBT people who might be more at risk from suffering from mental health issues. And with them being here and being visible, it's they're offering that support. And being here on the day is just so massively important, and we really appreciate that.
The Wigan Pride event helps people feel included, helps people feel, people are smiling at them, and it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. And that acceptance helps with their mental health, helps with addictions, it helps with alcohol misuse, it helps with suicide, and suicide is such a terrible, terrible thing. And working in mental health myself, and a lesbian myself, I've seen how being gay is so hard for people just to walk down the street and be smiled at and supported and talked to.
In England, for the last 3 or 4 years now, every local authority has been encouraged to have a suicide audit, a suicide strategy, and a local cross-sector group to help implement that. So, for example, in Wigan, there's been a huge impetus around suicide prevention, and PAPYRUS has been engaging with local authority and equally with people from the private sector, local community groups, faith sector, individuals, schools, colleges, to really put flesh on the bones of that national strategy, which says we can reduce the access to means of suicide, we can enable people to talk openly about suicide and break stigma, we can look at locations of concern and much more. And PAPYRUS has been really keen to push local authorities not just to have a strategy but to actually implement it. And I'm proud to say in Wigan we've just done that.
It's such a privilege and amazing to sing at these events. I sing at Proms in the Park at Wigan, and the one here at Leeds they call Last Night of the Proms. And it's wonderful, it's amazing to sing with Tilsley Brass Band, they're an incredible band. So to sing with a live brass band like them is amazing, it's incredible. But just to be here at this event and just see the local community come together, it's so nice. You look around and you see families have come with their tables and their food, and you don't see many people just sat on phones, they're just socialising and having a lovely night, and they're singing along, they're smiling, it's just, it's lovely.
Well, we like Proms in the Park in Lee. We've been coming every year since it started, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And it was just a little thing at first, and then it's just got bigger and bigger, and just great to see all the families. Even when it rains.
There's a real vibe and energy happening now across the borough with the Fire Within, across all areas. There's so many events going on, and it's great to see some of the young, talented bands coming through, like the Lathams, like the Lynches, and I get a sense they're going to become really big, national, international bands coming out of this borough over the next few years.
What's really clear is that arts and culture, in the rich forms that they take, from the spoken word to visual arts to music, are all just as key to an individual and a community's well-being as the more better-known determinants of health, housing, transport and education. And we should be investing in the arts to actually improve people's health just as much as we do in those better-known physical assets.